Welcome back to the Team Nerd Herd podcast, where our best advice is if you want to do it right, collect what you like. But on this segment of Dropping the Mic, it's collect what you read what you collect, all in one, y'all. We are back at it, and we are ready to go over today's show, today's book. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get this roll call going. We're all at the Herd chat, and then we'll get right into it. Alonzo, happy Sunday. What's cracking, brother?
Not much, man. I mean, just kind of relaxing, taking naps, dude. This is the kind of Sunday that I dream about,
Right?
right?
Man, I just woke up from a nap myself, and I feel great. I'm ready to hit it at 7 o'clock. Don't forget, mark your calendars, mark your time slots, hit those notification bells. Meet us at 7 o'clock tonight for top picks of the week.
That's right. It's going to be fun. And we have Sparks Comics, and he's going to be coming in for me tonight because today I am going to have a day off, but Sparks is going to be there lighting it up as always. So it's definitely going to be some fun.
That's going to be great, man. We're going to miss you, but you know what? Everybody needs a day off. Everybody needs some rest. Everybody needs to be with family. Remember that, guys. We love y'all in the Herd chat, but if you guys have family things that are going on, definitely we understand and we love you. So
That's right. That's right.
it's your boy Steve, aka Hip Hop's in Me _comics _collectibles. Longest name on Instagram, champ running. Where's my belt at? Just kidding, guys. But without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and holler at the Herd chat. I know I see some resurgence up in this. We gotta holler at our moderators. Rudy, brother, something Wong. You know, something white is always about to happen when he's in the mix, and Deanime, etc. What's going on, my brother? Deanime, etc. Senpai, anime lover. Yo, we got Comics Kings is in the building. My man Brando from Comics Kings. If y'all ain't subbing up to his channel, definitely sub up. Look at the stuff that he's coming up with, man. He's got some fire. Oh, dare I say it? John Romita Jr.? Dare I say it? James Tinian the fourth? Oh, well, guess what? I think we're going to be talking about him today. Oh, what a coinky dink. Oh, brother Rudy. Met him yesterday. My brother got a chance to meet him. An awesome pillar in the community. Brother Rudy, thank you so much. It was great to see you. More good times are coming. Eric the Phoenix rising from the ashes and up in the air and spreading those beautiful fiery wings. Fuzzy Dunlop, what's going on, my brother? Thank you so much. Scotland is in the building.
Woo.
Yo, you know we got something wrong. I gotta highlight my man something wrong right there. He's like, yo, like he's ready to hit the cipher. Yo, my man Lord Chuck's from the biggest little city collectors. But if Dave Yeah comes in, I'm gonna be stuttering like a mumbling, stuttering beep. Think I get nervous around him, man. I don't know why.
I don't know either, man. I mean, come on, Steve.
I mess up the name all the time, and he's like, I feel like he's looking at me from the other side of the camera, like, what are you doing, dude? You know you watch our shows. Cut it out.
Yep.
All right, guys. We've gone down through the roll call and the Herd chat. Let's go ahead and get into this book. So last episode, if you guys missed last episode, I would highly recommend to go check issue 1 out of The Nice House on the Lake. James Tynion is writing it. You got on the art, you got Alvaro Martinez Bueno, and then on the coloring, you got Jordi Belair. Okay, so this tale, guys, I got to tell you guys got to pick it up. Pick up the first issue. I wouldn't go so far as to maybe picking up those other prints, but I like them. I like the distortion and the burning of the cover. It looks distressed. It looks like it's been aged, kind of like what we're going through right now, right? So as we go back to issue 1, where we left off, Walter, we found out, is an alien. You got this group of people that are all put together in a house. A house is beautiful. It's a nice house on the lake. And later we find out that there's fuckery afoot. The world is coming to an end. It's in flames. People are burning. Loved ones are dying. And you got everybody on that house of the lake. Everybody's making sense of it. They're panicking, and anger ensues. And off with Walter's head, but Walter just is distorted, and they get the big rush. Now, what we are making sense of, shout out to Azora's Tiger Spine Ticks Familia. If you did not check out their rewind last night over on the Spine Ticks, go ahead and check you out. All right. So what we open up to now is everyone is dealing with what just happened. You know, you got a big Rick who's in the mix, and it's going into a story of him and Walter and how they interact with each other and what's going on. Shout out to Hood Rat Comics, my brother, over on Team Nerd Herd podcast, the general. So they're really kind of mingling, they're interacting with how they were as kids in college. And Rick Rick is talking to Walter, and Walter asks, like, do people like me? And you kind of think that, like he's just going through this crisis, but really he's kind of setting up the chessboard. He's saying, will you always love me if certain things happen? And Rick says, I'll always love you. And he's like, well, then I'm going to need you to do something for me. That love, man, that brotherly love. And Rick, we find out is kind of being told what to do in this kind of situation. And you're seeing them get up in the morning, like the lake, the house is beautiful. It's on the lake, like everything's perky and perfect, except for what happened last night. They're trying to put everything together. They're trying to make sense of it so they don't go insane. And you know, I think what they're finding is they're just saying, okay, well, we're going to try. Each of these people are trying to make sense of it. One of them is looking around the house. The other person is up all night looking through Twitter feeds and Facebook feeds. I mean, some other people are crying and just wanting to see their loved ones, and it's really sinking in. Alonzo, what do you think? I
No,
know
I
I
think
was
it's
just
no,
insane.
I think it's like so relevant to today's world. I mean, when everybody had COVID or everybody was locked down because of COVID, everybody was like texting each other, FaceTime, checking social media regarding updates, all that other stuff. So it's very realistic, it's very down to earth on what these people do. I mean, they heard the news from issue one, where it kind of broadcasts, hey, the world is ending. And now they're like, oh my God, what's going to happen to my parents, my significant others, my friends. I mean, they're just kind of all scrambling around. Plus they want to know like what is really going on. I mean, what they saw, is it just an isolated thing or is it global?
Mhm.
So that's what they're trying to figure out. And I like what Tinian is doing with this. I mean, it's very relevant. It's how every one of us would kind of react in that particular situation. Is we want to know what's happening outside, and what's going on with this house.
Yeah.
I would like to explore more myself and kind of walk around and check every nook and cranny. Maybe there's, I don't know, I mean, an exit or a secret passage, just stuff like that. Because to your point, we find out that Walter's an alien, so maybe we're on board an alien ship. Maybe this is some sort of like test that we're all kind of like,
Simulation.
yeah, like we're all little rats in this little like maze. So I like where this is going. I mean, it's really kind of grounded.
The other thing I will highlight, guys, is definitely look at the other pages with the transcripts. Read through that because there's a lot of information that you're going to gather. The one thing I like about Tinian's writing, and even the first issue, is you get bits and pieces of the email. So you're reading the email, you're reading what's in his inbox, and you're trying to put the things together. To Alonzo's point, if you were in that situation, you'd be walking around that house, you'd be creeping and crawling and looking with a magnifying glass like Sherlock Holmes. Well, guess what? They do. They find a key in the bookcase. Okay. And what it does is it takes them, from what I understand, it takes them outside. And then you get the group of them all rounded up talking outside. And one person that was last night that thought about everything had walked around the house while you had one person kind of going through the feed and trying to make sense of everything, trying to put all these clues together. You got one of the guests that's outside walking around to see if there's anything outside. He touches the statue. From what we remember, as they were going in the house, there was a statue, just a signal, some sort of a beacon, some sort of. It looks to be like art, but it has to be something key because the guest puts his hand on the statue and sees everything in rubbles. Like catastrophic failures, devastation, people's faces being distorted, the sky is on fire, everything just looks to be gone to hell. And what Nora does is the artist, she puts her hand on it just to make sure, and she sees the same thing. You get this beautiful, beautiful art panel of ominous death and just calamity. And it really sets in. It's a sinking feeling when you're reading it because you're kind of thinking, what would I do in that situation? And if I put my hand on that statue and saw that, what how would you really take that in?
Yep, and I mean it's crazy. I mean it's a way to kind of view your loved ones, and I mean that the art that just kind of like happened. I mean you see people's like body melting. I mean it's very grotesque, and to be able to view it, and I mean you're kind of just shocked, and you're just like taking a step back. You're like, oh my god, what is going on? And I mean to see everybody that you care about affected in this way, I mean, it just brings you to tears. And you could see that. You can see the emotion in the characters' faces when they touch this obelisk or whatever you want to call it, monument, and they're like kind of transported into this like world or this realm where all the things happen. It's like a TV screen where you can just touch it and then you're immediately taken to where you need to be. I mean,
Yeah,
it's crazy.
yeah, man. Yo, shout outs to my man Dave Collects. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Over at the biggest little city collectors.
Look at you got
Yes,
it. You
yes.
got
I'm
it.
not nervous. And Spine takes because my boy's repping two crews. Count them two. I know he's happy. Yo, your boy practiced that a long time, Dave. I ain't trying to mess that up anymore, man. Much love to you guys. 4 p.m. They just had a show, so check that out. All right. So, I mean, really touching that monument really opened things up, and you get a sinking feeling that there's a sense of dread. Only there isn't. They're at a house, and it's on a lake, and it's for them. Like so as you're coming in, Rick's lover, Darling, is coming in, and she's hearing him play the piano. I could really, really hear this. You said it wrong. I did. Oh my god. Oh yeah.
You did it. You did it.
Lord, how dare you? You got me all
You
thrown off
did
now.
it. You did
He's like, you got it wrong again. I'm like,
it.
you didn't say yeah, yeah. All right. So my bad, guys. So you guys, this is like the I think I can hear this and see this in a movie, right? Just the tone setting of the very end of you hearing Rick play this piano. Um, what kind of keys is he playing? Something ominous, something very disturbing. And what he does is he kind of rationalizes. He's our Alonzo. He says, "What if this house has been meant for us?" We know that Walter has been friends with us for years. He knows us. He sets into play certain things that we like, and you start to find that out. You start to find out that there's a part where they find in the house that key. They're looking through books, and one of the girls that Walter has dated says, "Oh my god!" And one of the guests says, "What's going on? Did you find anything?" And he's like, "Every book that Walter's ever recommended to me in childhood is here." And he's really taken the time to kind of like a lab rat, or if you're doing testings, you want to know about your subjects, you want to know every nook and cranny, you want to know their weaknesses, their strengths, what they like, and that's what's being done. Like to me, in what I'm looking at, it's setting in as an experiment, and I think what Walter's kind of fighting is feeling. He really cares for these people. He's talked to Rick about setting the pins up so that he can knock them down. And basically, you're seeing that rage in Cajun Comics. Brother JD is in the building. What is going on, my brother? Man, JD's the truth. So, as you're hearing these piano strokes, you're hearing him talk, and he's saying, like all these things are set for us. Why fight it? We know that the inevitable is done. We know that the world's come to an end. Why not? Why not? Why fight it? Why not just go with it? C-list villains, E-Man, over at the C-list villains podcast. Shout out to my man, 50 grand. What's cracking, my brother? Good to see you, my brother. Good to see you. So as we're kind of seeing this set in, like it's gonna get worse, I think. And I think as you're seeing this, I love this scene. And Alonzo, you could tell me, I know we were talking about this. The ending credit and that ending scene, you see Rick, you see Darling hugging, and you see Walter there with his face all distorted. But it takes you back to the beginnings of the first pages where they're interacting and they're talking, and you hear Rick say, You won't hate me." No, not Rick, Walter. "You won't hate me, right?" And Rick says, "I'll never hate you, no matter what." And that is where you get more, I think, more about the story, because they haven't really spoken about the other guests that didn't make it. So who's that person that's waiting for them? Is it Rick? Because Rick's in it now. I mean, we know Rick might have been surprised at what happened, but he knew about it. It took him back to those stages in college. So now he kind of made sense. He rationalized and says, like, I'm with you, Walter. What do you want me to do to get these other folks on board? Right, Alonzo? I mean, am I off or anything?
No, not at all. I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, once we have all this information and we know what's happening, it's like, okay, what are we gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have to kind of come together as a group. And I like how Darling was like, we should set rules that we don't lose touch, that we have dinners together. We have just things that we do as a group, which I think is great. And I mean, it feels kind of very like Noah's Ark-ish,
Yeah.
I mean, it's very biblical and how this thing's kind of going on. And I think Walter is trying to help them in a way that they don't quite get just yet. I mean, if you kind of look at it and the last panel, I mean, you're taken into this room and there's tons of guns. But I'm like,
Yeah.
seriously, aliens with laser beams and melting people, and you have guns. I'm trying to figure out, like, who are these guns really meant to be for? Is it you going to be
And the
used
chamber.
against each other? Maybe.
Yeah. And the chamber that's there. They don't know what that chamber is. They never saw it.
Yep.
The other part that I want to highlight is, as they're talking about walking through the house, they're giving you shots and plots of the foundation and where those rooms are at. They didn't know where this hyperbolic chamber is. So I honestly, well, when I looked at the guns, Alonzo, I honestly thought that, if the world is coming to an end, and let's say there were people outside of this house or outside of this ship per se, you would use those guns to avoid people kind of come in and, ransack the house. And I mean, because all hell breaks loose. There's devastation during these current events, and people lose
Yeah.
their mind. People want to live. And I
Yep.
think that's what really sets in his life. I need to live so that I can prosper and carry on. And I think that's why they had those guns. But I think you might be right. There might be some crazy stuff that's happening in this area.
And too, like, just like every horror movie trope that there is, once everybody knows that there's guns in the house, they're
Oh
gonna be
yeah,
like, well, I want a gun. And then
target
everybody's gonna
practice.
have guns. And then one guy's gonna be like, well, I want to leave this nice house on the lake to go look for my loved ones, and I'm gonna shoot people. And it's like, oh, I can see all of this kind of unfolding.
Oh my god, yeah. What's gonna happen next, man? Because I mean, what I looked at with all those guns, I thought of that meme where that with that army in Afghanistan, or no, in Africa, and they're all talking to the monkey, and the monkey has the gun. It's like, I'll be like, oh my god, that's exactly that's exactly what a visitor would do if they had the gun. They're looking at this bad boy. They're like, wow, this is crazy. Boom, and just a
I
bomb
know.
goes off. I didn't do
I mean,
anything. Just
I
put it
know.
back.
Oh my god! One of the craziest things too. I mean, the people that you have gathered in this house, they have no expertise with any kind of weapons, at least based on their what they are, like a comedian, an artist, a pianist, and stuff like that. I mean, they're very artsy. They're not very like militaristic. At least I don't see anybody as being that kind of person. But to your point, it could be Rick. I mean, I don't know, but I like that last page because it just he's hugging Darling, and then you do see Walter there, kind of looking down, and you're just like, oh, something's gonna happen,
And in some sense, that panel kind of like, for me, it kind of invoked emotion, because Rick is put in this horrible position where he's, friends with Walter, and he wants to see the good in Walter, but he's also hugging, like, he's also hugging Darling, and it's kind of setting into like, did I make the right decision? Like, am I there for the people that are here, or am I here for Walter? Actual Dracula, what is cracking coming out, man? You're on the daylight.
I
I
was
thought,
about to say, I mean,
uh,
it's still light out.
yeah, man, be careful, because that might be a weakness. Just saying. All right. So, I really think this is going to be. It's gotten me on board for issue 3. I'm totally ready and raring to go for issue 3. I think James Tynion is amazing when it comes to stories. I mean, you guys know he's hitting fire with something that's killing the children. Something's killing the children. He's been killing it with that new Batman run that he's been on, and I love the diversification and what he's doing. So, I love the fact that he is really diversifying. Like his writings and his stories with Wind. Everything is just different. And I think he has really, really good projection in his stories. He has the Razor Blade stories as well. And man, it's just been an epic tale. I can't wait for issue 3. I honestly want to see what happens next. I want to see if anybody else is involved in this, because in the first issue, you saw people that were involved in the government, like, or that have jobs that are in the government. So I was thinking maybe they're involved as well. Maybe they're in cahoots with Walter. Yes, I said it, cahoots. And what could possibly happen then? Because you get more. You didn't know that Rick was involved, but you know that there's past. Every one of these people that are guests in this house have a past with Walter. So, and maybe that's the thing. Maybe that he's looking at the factors that they kind of bring to the table, and maybe it's survival of the fittest. Maybe it's like to Alonzo's point, maybe lab rat time. Maybe they're testing. Who knows? But I am super excited for this title. I want to get into issue 3 like you wouldn't believe.
I know. I mean, man, I can't believe we have to wait like what 3 more weeks or so just for the third issue. I
Can't
mean,
do it.
it really is getting good. I mean,
Mhm.
I love the setup in issue number 1. I love how things are progressing in issue 2, because sometimes you get that issue 2 isn't that fantastic. It's like, but this one, it was really good. I mean, I love the cliffhanger at the end. I immediately enjoyed seeing Rick's like relationship with Walter and how that kind of developed over time, and his sleuthing skills. I mean, it's great. And again, I liked how they had that monument or obelisk outside that they could kind of touch and view the outside world. And I think that may come into play later on, where maybe it's not just loved ones that they can see. Maybe they can just see everything outside of that house.
Our boy Hood Rat's at Legoland, man, putting them Legos together.
Oh, nice,
He's over there
nice.
looking at some Star Wars Legos. You better cut it out. He's gonna come back with a package. So my question to the chat, I mean, we have a couple minutes left before we hit that beautiful 30-minute mark, is if you were a guest on this house, what would be your next step? What would you be doing? And we're gonna go highlight these comments, right? Before we kind of bounce out, we get ready for 7 for the top picks of the week. But I need to know. For me, Alonzo, I'm gonna go ahead and say I would have probably did the same thing. I probably would have looked outside, even though I would have been scared as hell at night, and possibly ghosts and things like come out bump in the night, maybe actual Dracula coming from the back of me. I don't know, but I got a stake for you, you know. But for me, I would probably have checked the house to see if there was a way out, to see if there was something different, just as that guy did, and I would have been met with nightmares touching that statue and that monument. But I would have did the same. I would have went outside. I would have made sure that there was a way for me to get out, and see if there was a way to find something else out there. I mean, I don't think I would go leave the house knowing that there. I mean, you're going to be killed and distorted. I would just want to see if there was a way out, or just kind of check out what would uh what would happen. I mean, there has to be something that's missing that we're not really reading into.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, for me, I would do two things, right? I would check the property line outside. I want to know how far I can get outside of that house, before like the end of the world, the apocalypse, because like I are we under some kind of dome, maybe force field? I don't know, like electrical fence, white picket fence. I have no idea.
Possibly in space.
I know, but I'd like to see where's our border? Like, how far can we actually go? And then also like explore the inside of that house and figure out what is like, where does everything go? Do we just kind of live in this room? I mean, I know Walter in the first issue just brought food, and we're always going to have the supply. At least I hope we do. But another thing too is we might have to ration some of this thing, because if Walter is an alien and is going against his people, then there may come a time where we might not have a lot of food.
And that's where the guns come into place.
Yeah, and exactly, and that's where the guns come in, right? I mean, and people might get cabin fever, like with Corona, with COVID happening. People went crazy. There's like, oh, you have to stay at home, but after a while, you see people running around the streets just doing crazy stuff.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, they might go Frank the Tank on a mother.
exactly, we're going streaking.
Oh my
So I
god.
mean, it's one of those weird things where you have to be prepared for the inevitable,
Yep.
but you have to have as much information. Search, just kind of go through all of these things. So
My man,
I'm right with you, man. I am
my,
with you. Like,
my man,
hey,
my
Steve,
man,
you and
Eric
I,
the
man,
Phoenix.
we're like
That's
this,
it.
dude.
That's it. We're eye to eye, and we might even have a third. My man over at Fanime Talk, Eric the Phoenix brother, said link up with 2 other people, scout around the pad, and find them blade weapons too, and just cut somebody up, man. Just get those guns, man. Yo, you got. That's a good question. Lord Chuck says, "How big is the house?" It is what you would see on a Property Brothers thing, brother. That house is beautiful. There's places that are unturned,
Yeah,
but they're trying it.
yeah. I like where this is going. I mean, you got to explore. You got to see where the property
Cahoots.
ends. I mean, it's crazy. You got to check it out. You got to be aware of your surroundings.
That's right, man. You got to always scout it out, man. Keep on your toes, keep your eyes peeled, and not exploding out of your head like you saw in the first issue. Because it was a sad thing. It was a sad day. All right, y'all. With that being said, you guys already know that we will be back on Sunday, same time, same place for a new Drop in the Mic segment. We're going to get a new title. I know we're working with Tomorrow Cinema on reading the plot, so I still got to pick up that trade. But guess what, guys? We have a surprise. We've been speaking with Ted Sakura on Bloom, and we are going to get that first issue read. It is a great book. I did have a chance to kind of skim over it, and I had to stop for a minute to get this new episode up and running as well. But we will bring Ted Sakura in. We will have him in as our guest, and we're going to go ahead and talk to him.
And speaking
Heroes
of
tomorrow.
guests, isn't there something that's happening next week?
Yeah, Alonso, why don't you go ahead and let them know?
Oh, well, I'll do it. So, guys, in case you didn't know, we're going to have, again, David Boer's going to be on the show talking about Kanto as well as Killer Queens. And we're looking forward to that. But guess what? We've got more. The lovely ladies, excuse me, the
Love.
lovely ladies of Nearing Nirvana are going to be joining us as well as we talk to David Boer about his books that are coming out and how he came up with these things. I mean, it's going to be great, and it's going to be an awesome show, and I'm really looking forward to it. And that's going to happen next week, 3 p.m. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Mark your calendars, y'all. I can't wait. We are ready and raring to go. David Boer is an awesome individual. I had a chance to talk to him. Met him at Collector's Paradise. Shout out to my comic book shop. Amazing experience. So much love to our friend David Boer. Also, you guys, don't forget tonight, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Top picks of the week. Want to know what to pick up? You boys know what's going down. We're gonna miss Alonzo. We definitely are, but family always comes first, and we all need some rest and relaxation. I almost stuttered the heck out of that one. But Monday, Fanime Talk, y'all. Eric the Phoenix is going to be rocking and rolling with a new anime that's on Netflix, and we're ready to kind of dissect that too. We're going to get the first 4 episodes because those battle sequences happen in 4 episodes. So that's enough bite-sized pieces for you guys to maybe check a new anime out. You never know. I know D-Anime is probably like, what's this animation you're talking about? What's this anime? You must give it to me.
He's like, what? Ragnarok? What is Ragnarok?
Oh,
Like,
you're about to find
Ragnarok.
out. You're about to find out, man.
Yep.
These gods and the immortals go at it. So we are ready to dissect that anime as well. But we got a lot of things in the works. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and knock us right out. Meet us at 7 p.m., guys. We're double dosing, double downing as we go along on this fancy Sunday. So with that being said, if you want to do it right, collect what you like. Or on this segment of Dropping the Mic, it's collect what you read what you like, and all in between. We'll see y'all later. See you at 7 p.m. Peace.